What up guys, Jetshells here and welcome back to World of Tanks. As promised, I'm releasing another video for you guys here this weekend, and today we're going to be showing some T71 gameplay. Now, the T71 I've actually not featured a whole lot on the channel at all. I think I've only done one or two other videos besides this one that I'm releasing today, which is kind of unusual because it's one of my most played scout tanks. Of course, most of the battles that I've had in this tank I accumulated before I started my YouTube channel and before I started releasing videos. But I focused on playing this tank a bit more recently. One, just because I'm trying to vary the content of the channel more so you guys get a better idea of the variety of the different kinds of scout tanks in World of Tanks. And two, I was trying to achieve one of my personal goals. One of my goals in World of Tanks as far as scouts is concerned is to 3-mark every scout tank in World of Tanks. And I'm getting pretty close to that goal. I'm wrapping up most of the nations, and then I need to work on the French line, which I don't play a whole lot of. And then I think I'll have most of the scout tanks 3-marked. But the second goal that I have for in World of Tanks is to 100% mark as many scout tanks as I can. And what 100% marks of excellence means rating is that you are the top player on your server in that particular tank over the last 2 weeks and 100 games, I believe, is the parameters on that. I haven't double checked that, so if you guys know that it's a little bit different, you can let me know in the comments. But yeah, so I just like to set personal goals for myself, keep pushing myself to do better, because there's always something that I can do to improve my gameplay. No one is perfect, and my gameplay is never perfect, as you guys will see in these two games today. But in spite of that, they were still both ace tankers, and after the second game on El Haluf, which I will show you guys after this game, I was able to achieve the 100% marks of excellence. So let's just get started in this game. Now we're on a tier 8 game here, which is nice matchmaking on Ruinberg. Unfortunately there I had a really bad spawn on the far west of the south spawn, which is already beginning a disadvantage because the south spawn is slightly further away to driving to the EF line small village area out here in the field directly ahead of me. So the north spawn already has an advantage, so I took an extremely conservative line driving out here. One, because I was behind 10-15 seconds just as far as driving out here. And two, if you look at the mini-map there, I have absolutely no backup other than this E25 and that Tiger 1 holding the corner down there in H6. So I'm already anticipating that I'll need to run away here very quickly. I have my tank turned backwards so I can run away quickly if I need to. I spot the enemy T71, but he doesn't spot me, very surprisingly. I thought I had exposed myself beyond the bush. Sneak a side shot. Try to go for the second shot on the Yag Tiger 88 before he went behind the building. In hindsight, I probably should have just held that shot, and I would have been able to put one more shot of damage into him right there. Exposed myself a little bit too long trying to put my full clip into the Yag Tiger 88, but luckily for us the Tiger 1 there missed. And now we're basically in a rolling retreat mode. You always need to analyze the situation, get a feel for how aggressive the enemy players are on the flank that you're on. If they're really aggressive, then you need to go full out retreat. If they're advancing tentatively, then make them pay for the ground that they take, right? You know that you're going to lose a certain area of the map here, given that hardly anyone came out here into the field, as you can see. But there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to do damage and to try kill a few tanks as long as you can get out of the situation after you do so, right? You gotta anticipate how much time you have to advance to the next point of cover. Really, really bad decision right here. I deliberately decided to sit and stay to shoot the tiger, but I thought I was going to get 4 shots into him, and I only got 2, so that was just a really, really bad trade. He has 1,500 hit points when he's full HP, and I only have 840, and we basically traded the same amount of HP, so that was not a good trade. And once again, falling back, doing a rolling retreat here. Each time the enemy advances into the positions that we just occupied, do a little bit of damage and do a little bit of damage, always keeping the enemy at arm's length, right? You need to try and think of how much time do you need to advance to the next point of cover. And always be aware of where your teammates are, so you know how far you need to go before you're able to get to a point where your teammates can cover you and back you up. Now that the enemy have complete control of the field, I decide to push up here and do some work here in the city. I know the T71 was trapped here on this street because he was engaging one of our tanks there on the what is that, H4, a diagonal street there. Run into a Jagdpanther that I was not expecting. This is the kind of thing that you run to in city area type maps, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. You'll run into that kind of thing in Stalingrad a lot, where you're crossing one street and you just run blindly right into an enemy that you could not have predicted that he was going to come, because there was just no way of spotting him. I'm willing to take the hit here to try and get around the flank of the Jagdpanther, and my team helped mop him up there. Maybe not necessarily needed to take that shot of damage from the Jagdpanther, but I could have retreated, for instance, back into B2 or B3, but I was extremely worried. I didn't know where the Borsig was still alive on the enemy team, and I just decided to roll the dice. I'd rather get shot by a tank that I know that can't one-shot me, and then I can get around to his flank. Still really concerned about the Borsig here because he hasn't been spotted all game yet, so I have a feeling maybe he's right up in front of me in the village area somewhere. Now we have the back, the T-34-3, and he was flanked from me and those guys down there in the city that you saw there in K2, the 4503 and the Borsig. Now it's just a matter of cleanup. I need to find Artie, and I need to find the Borsig. Our super Pershing there in the field is being really aggressive, which is really nice. He can spot through sacrificing some of his HP. He spotted the Artie for me actually before I was able to advance up to do the spotting myself. I do another misplay right here. I should have gone for a full reload. And then I get spotted by the Borsig. Actually, how you need to progress this line is hug closer to the edge of the map than what I did. On the Winterberg version of this map, as opposed to Ruhenberg, the bush density is thinner, so it's a lot harder to advance down that zero line without getting spotted by snipers where this Borsig is. But, fortunately for us, the Borsig is AFK, so we get a bit of free damage here. Bit of cheeky tracking there so I can get some assistance damage at the end of the battle because I spotted him and tracked him, and that's the end of the game. So a quick game here on Winterberg. I made several mistakes during the course of this battle. Mostly the overall mistakes that I were making were economy of HP. I was making bad trades in certain situations and corner engagements, and was missing a couple of shots here and there. But overall, it was a nice game. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this game here on Winterberg, showing you guys how to play the angles a little bit on this map, and just the overall general concept of when you're playing on a flank that doesn't have a lot of support, I just didn't go into the city. That wasn't really an option for me early in the game because you end up brawling with heavy tanks that have twice as your hit points and much more armor and much more alpha. So I at least wanted to go out to the field, even though I didn't have a lot of support, to try and get some vision, and then run away if I was forced to, which I was. But we did a pretty good rolling retreat. We retreated really well considering the amount of enemy tanks that were pushing our tanks, and we made them bleed a lot of HP and several tanks to take the position into the field. And from there, we just kind of counter pushed and counter looped back out into the field and cleaned up. But enough of that. Let's go into the second game in the T71 here in this video on El Haluf. Alright, so here is the second game I'm going to show you guys here today on El Haluf, and this is the game that I was able to earn 100% marks of excellence in the T71. So let's just get started with this game. Once again, a really nice matchup. In general, people are able to have more influence on the battle the higher the tier in the matchmaking that they are. It's a common thing for everyone. What I really like to do here on El Haluf from the north spawn is come over here and sit in these row of bushes right here just on the north side of this knoll and spot tanks crossing early from these gaps like that Wheezy 131 did. Really surprised that he didn't spot me coming in here, actually, because I wasn't in a bush as he was crossing the field. Doing a misplay here. The misplay is not shooting the Wheezy 131. The misplay was actually me not turning my tank around and preparing to run away after I fired. So I had to turn my tank completely around after I fired before I could start driving away. And that cost me like 2 or 3 seconds, and 2 or 3 seconds is often the difference between you getting shot and not getting shot. So that was a misplay right there. Luckily, we got away with only getting tracked by the ARL 44. But as you can see there, we're getting some vision here on the IS-3A and the T-34 as they cross into that inside fighting area along the 2 line, the C2, D2 area. Oftentimes you'll see, if you look on the minimap here, tanks moving into the E2 and the D2 area. Some really bad marksmanship here, shooting at that Jagdpanther 2 and then the WZ-131. Probably the worst clip in history, I reckon. But eventually through the game, my aim starts getting better and better. Even though the Jagdpanther is a really long distance, I need to do the best that I can to maximize the chances that the shots are going to hit. Spot the Jagdtiger 88 crossing the gap there, and somebody was able to put a shot into him. I think that was the SU 122-44 sitting back there in B6. Once again, a bad shot right there, not giving enough lead to the Lerva. The Jagdpanther 2 juked my shot there. I thought he was going to continue to back up. So not a very good start to this game as far as doing damage is concerned, but we've gotten a little bit of vision and some assistance damage there. We got that VK3002M shot early on, and we got the Jagdtiger 88 shot. Unfortunately, bounced off the side of the Jagdpanther 2 there. I must have clipped the very edge of his tracks. Now we have the side of the VK4503. Once again, a bad shot right there. Now I'm starting to become more careful with my shots. This is part of the reason I love this position. If your team are able to be really aggressive here and keep the enemy team pinned back here in D1 and keep them from advancing into B1, you'll have side shots all day into this D1, D2 area. And now we got the nice juicy side of a Jagdtiger 88. His frontal armor is extremely good, but whose side armor is paper thin, so we're easily able to pen it as long as our shots hit correctly. Go for another reload right here. Now I'm peeking here for some vision, which I probably should have done a little bit earlier. The ISU 152 behind me needed spots earlier than I was giving him. I was focused too much on doing damage, and I wasn't able to maximize putting his gun into the fight. Now I'm not worried about shooting these guys here and getting spotted. They're beyond get my 445 meter spotting range, so even if they had the best spotting range in the world, they still technically could not spot me. I need to keep an eye on any tank destroyers above me on the ridge though. I didn't spot anyone else on the ridge in front of me when I spotted the Hellcat, so this is why I crossed over. The only other tank unaccounted for other than artillery was the RMH Borsig, and he could technically he could have been in J5, J6 area along the switchback road, but as we'll see in a moment here, climbing up the ridge, he's in a different position. And our team are mopping up that one line here really good. We spot the artillery, he's not focused on us. And we're able to two-shot him here. The RMH Borsig here is sitting there out in the open. I have no idea what he's doing. We're able to track him there and put the rest of our clip in there. And getting some nice assistance damage there from tracking him. Potentially he probably was on the switchback road and he just relocated. And now we got the nice back of a Jagdpanther who is sitting up in a cheeky position up here on the ridgeline. Peek around the corner for the Borsig because he's the lower health target. Got some server reticle there. You saw my reticle was on the Jagdpanther, but the shot went slightly to the left of where I was aiming. The Jagdpanther repairs the first track, but I track him again, and that's what the T71 is really good at. Since it's an autoloader, you can put one or two more shots in and track the target again, and then they've already burned their repair kit, and there is nothing that they can do about it. So once again, not a perfectly played game. Most of the mistakes that I made in this game were marksmanship related, which is one of the main areas of game mechanics that I've been trying to get better at. Sometimes I rush shots or don't properly aim them because I get a rush to the head or whatever, and I just pull the trigger. So as I work on that area of game mechanics, I am slowly improving my overall results and my average win rate. Marksmanship, believe it or not, is really important. It's one of the things that you wouldn't think would influence the outcome of the game so much if you aim a little bit here and a little bit there, but taking one shot of damage here and not taking a shot of damage there is sometimes the difference in a game. And of course, over the course of a battle, all these little decisions add up to a tank being dead or a tank being alive. So you get an idea for kind of the playstyle of the T71 here. It actually has a very good view range for a Tier 7 Scout. 400 meters base view range, and its camo rating is decent. Not the fastest Scout in the world, but it has a decent top speed of 64 kilometers an hour. I play this tank kind of like a conservative sniper and then a slash aggressive assassin. It's a pretty flexible tank because the reload clip time is around 17 seconds, which is kind of the natural reload time, or excuse me, the natural engagement time in between fighting a tank, pulling back, and then fighting it again. So it definitely has flexibility as far as offensive capability is going for it as well. And I have some more T71 gameplay content coming up in the future on the channel. I'm still working on it. As I mentioned in the last video I made, I'm working on this project that is kind of a compilation of sorts, but it's requiring a lot of work and a lot of time investment into it, and it'll be a little while before I'm able to finish it. So, but stay tuned for that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and happy hunting.